Hello guys. So I'm here to do a discussion slash review of the Farseer Trilogy. But I have to start by saying, please don't come at me because I think I'm on the very minority that actually has many issues with the trilogy in general. This is just my opinion. I'm not attacking you. I think that wasn't so. I think that I shouldn't have to say this, but we are 2021, people get offended, so here I am saying that is my opinion. Anyway, uh, the, the trilogy, as I said, the Farsi trilogy by Robin Hobb, it's the first trilogy on the Enderlings saga. I think that's the name. Something like that. Anyway, it starts with Assassin Apprentice, then goes to Royal Assassin, and it ends with Assassin's Quest. I am on also the minority that I actually do like these covers and do prefer this format. I have a aesthetical problem with the other covers, the one that looks like medieval medieval paper, like it has been worked by a scribe, because it's some of them are like off center in the this is problems of design. I don't think everyone will understand how that off center is not good for directions of the eye, and how it's something missing. It's just things are missing there. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry for that pause. Things were getting a little bit noisy around here, but I think we can continue. Anyway, covers aside, just this one is my favorite, I gotta say. I really like how this one is. But anyway, what I like and I didn't like. I'm not gonna do spoils for this, so you can stay here. And why is things still very noisy? Anyway, this trilogy has Fitz as the main character, Fitz Chivalry. He's the bastard of the king to be named Chivalry, and his mother and his grandfather leaves them at Buckkeep, so his family, his royal side of the family, takes care of him because his grandfather is like, I ain't paying for him anymore because he eats too much. And on this first volume, he's still a kid, and we see him growing, and then being summoned by the king to be turned into his personal assassin. Let's put it like that. So that's the name, Assassin Apprentice. Now this one, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. If it wasn't for my love of assassins and thieves and rogues and all of that, I should probably give this, I would have given this 4 or 5 star. But since I am biased towards those things, I give it a 5 stars. I believe it's a little bit slow, but I give it the discount that this is not that big. It's like barely, it's 430, but he's a kid, he's growing, and we are learning about the city and noises again, nothing stops. We are learning about the city, his world, Bucky, what things are attacking this world, the red sheeps, the royal family. We have a lot to learn, so I'm okay with this being slow paced and giving us lots of characters to learn. The stable master, gotta love him. The fool, still my favorite through all this trilogy, and probably would be if I continue this saga. I was really optimistic. Then Merlin Readathon came, and I remember that it was for the prompt to read a book with friendship because Gawain and something like that, and I read for that prompt Royal Assassin. Things went down from here, let's say it. To start with, this one, it is a tale of an assassin apprentice. On these two books, there is no assassin. He is no assassin. In the best, on his best days, he's like a brawler that has some knowledge about poisons. On his worst days, he's simply a barbarian, and not a smart one for that. And barbarians can be smart, but he's not. So, this book in particular, I'm not gonna go into the what happens, like as in plot wise, because it will be spoilers, but the problems that start arriving here. This book is over, it's almost 700 pages. It's like 25 pages shy from it or something like that. This should have been 300 pages. This is too long. I think it's like the last 300 pages that of this book that things start happening. The first like 400 or something could have been 50 pages in like the most. So my problem, one of my biggest problems with Robin Hobb is the pacing. It's bad. I love her writing style, her prose, the way she makes the sentences and the descriptions and creates an ambience and all of that. Love it. I love the diverse cast of characters, even though I don't like their personalities. I fine with it. But her pacing is awful. Literally awful. Like, I wouldn't have finished this book if I wasn't listening to it on Open Library. And then, what the conclusion on this book that is supposed to be have a big impact, a big emotional impact, doesn't have it. It's just, we have been given so many clues of what would happen. Like, even on the first one, we have been given clues of what could happen, that when it happens we're like, yeah, just that, really? Like, we just going with this. I mean, by this point, if Fitz would die, I would be happy, and probably the next book would be better. Anyway, the next book has exactly the same problems, because this one is over 700, it's like 750 pages, so it's even bigger. Pacing wise, I think only the last 300 pages of this book things start happen, and even so they start happen on a very, very slow pace. Again, the first 400 pages or something is just Fitz doing mistake after mistake and things that sometimes I doesn't even care. And then the conclusion was so anticlimactic that I'm just like, it's just, this is it. This is the conclusion that we have been, I have been suffering through more than 700 pages for this. It was very, very, very weak. I mean, very, very weak. There's a problem also that is more my problem than, I mean, I can understand that it's a very personal problem for me. I know that other people, this will not be a problem. But I do understand that these three books, more than the story of like the adventure, the fantasy and everything, this is supposed to be a kid becoming a man, basically, and the things that he goes through on this setting. So sometimes the adventure goes on the background, what is happening with the kingdom. All the interesting things are happening on the background while we are watching this kid doing the most silly teenager mistakes. And that's just not fun because everything that is supposed to be interesting about this is happening on the background and we are not watching. But that's not that's one problem. But that wasn't what I wanted to say with a problem that is very personal to me. Problem that is very personal to me is that I do not like Fitz. He's just like the typical main character on steroids. He just does mistake after mistake after mistake, and basically everything. I think it's they say something here, but I'm not going to talk about it because I'm not sure if it appears on the back of the first book. Anyway, everything that happens on those books are technically his fault to a certain point. Like the major events was his doings that took us there. And it was just for such silly mistakes that I was just like, now watching a character for like how many pages? 400 more. This is almost 2000 pages, to be honest. This is very shy of 2000 pages. Watching a character doing silly mistake after silly mistake, not doing any attempt to improve himself, blaming the others for everything that happened in his life, and then just not doing anything, no, not using the tools that people gave them, not doing literally anything. Basically, a lot of these books, he just spent. No, this book, the second one, he spends most of the book crying in a corner and being him and pouting to people and doing like and throwing a tantrum. On this one, first half first more than a half, that the first 400 pages is him like doing pouting slash very bad decisions, very bad life decisions that just bad. Again, why? So it was very infuriating to read these books. I mean, I do like characters that are unlikable, but I really don't like stupid characters, especially when it's like stupid on steroids. It was too much for me. So yeah, now I still think that overall, if I do understand why people might like this trilogy and this saga, I I do understand that some of the things that I mentioned are not like technical things, are things are very personal. Okay, I understand that, so it makes that it's not the most spectacular trilogy if it wasn't for that, but would still be good, and I would still recommend for some people that I know that like very slow paced, very badly paced, very slow and stories with obnoxious characters. But it's I was actually very surprised that I didn't like, because first I really enjoyed the first one, and because everyone raves about it. So yeah, I was just like a little bit surprised with my own reaction with those books. That will be on hold, by the way. I'm saying bye bye to this thing and just doing some money with them because that helps me get more books, and that's what life is all about, isn't it? So yeah. Also, I was spoiled by some things that will happen, so I'm not particularly keen on continue after knowing some things. Especially with the Fool, that it might I was spoiled things about the Fools, being him my favorite character, and I think that his character might be turned into something, and I'm just like I like him. I'm happy. I'm not gonna destroy my love for him, let's say like that. Just leave it as it is. He's still awesome, still the best, and I still want to hug him. I also want to hug Night Eyes because he's also awesome, and maybe Boris. Boris is also a very nice character. I also want to hug him. Mostly, I want to slap everyone. And Patience. And Patience. She's awesome also. So Boris, Patience, Night Eyes, and the Fool. And they are like the characters that least appear on this damn book after the first one. So yeah. Farseer Trilogy. Robin Hood. Do you let me know what you guys, if you have read, you let me know what you guys thought about it. Please, I mean, I do accept that people might not have the same problems with the characters and the focus of the story, while everything that is interesting is passing on the background. But please tell me that I'm not the only one thinking that the pacing and the length of these books are just horrendous, and this should be each one a 300-page book. Please. Also, please let me know if you find out the ending of Assassin's Quest just dull and anticlimactic. If you like Fits, I do understand that the ending of the second one will kick you in the heart, even though it was very, 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 very predictable, like very, 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 very predictable. But yeah, anyway, do leave your comment, let me know what you think about it, and yeah, don't come at me. And that's all for now, guys.